Hopefully that sounded good. Yeah, the car really wants to go. Welcome back, guys, to Unlockable Character. Today is Wealth and Wisdom Wednesday. Apologies for posting on a Saturday, but we all have lives, and I'm trying to stay consistent in quality with the content. But sometimes I just won't be able to post on that day, but I promised within that week or within a reasonable time frame, I will be consistent with the videos. So today is actually the 10th Wealth and Wisdom Wednesday, if you can believe it. So that means that 10 weeks have gone by since I posted a major channel update where I'll be doing 3 videos a week. The first video is Mondays for music and motivation. Second video is Wealth and Wisdom Wednesdays, and the third is Fun and Fitness Fridays. So it's been an awesome journey so far. I'm going to keep going with you guys, all right? If you ever want to watch the videos, they are in playlists. As you can see, this is the Wealth and Wisdom Wednesday playlist. And first thing I wanted to touch on, guys, is actually an interesting topic about the US's public education system. So in the early 2000s, when George W. Bush was elected, a program called No Child Left Behind was put in place federally, which increased funding to public schools if they increased their graduation rates. Now, what that has actually done is bumped the high school graduation rate. However, the quality of education has not reflected the rise in high school graduates. What's actually happened is the quality of education has gone down, the schools have gotten more funding, and the graduation rate has gone up, but all we're doing is we're graduating dumber and dumber kids, and that's just to be blunt. But this is a real danger for the American economy and just the system as a whole, because as you have these high school graduates who lack critical thinking ability, who cannot write properly, who cannot do mathematics without a calculator, who can't even do simple math, right? Who have very limited worldviews, poor grasps on history, social studies, geography. As you push them out into the world, they're now coming face to face with AI, which is convincingly intelligent, and AI that is capable of taking on emotional basically concepts and manipulating people's emotions. So we have more and more essentially dumb people in the United States graduating from high school, saying that they have a high school degree, but it really doesn't mean much. And we're in a more vulnerable position than ever for AI to actually manipulate these people. So if anyone has seen a movie called Idiocracy, where in the future essentially everyone is dumb, I think we're halfway there, if not 3/4 of the way there. So a big red flag. And when people say, oh, there's more high school graduates than ever, that really doesn't mean anything, because what did they actually learn? COVID has actually made this worse. If you think about attention spans with TikTok and children addicted to technology, they're not really learning anything. They're just consuming garbage content, just like junk food. These young people, their minds are consuming garbage content. Myself, I went to public school. However, outside of public school, I read a tremendous amount of nonfiction. I had a thesaurus that I would go through to figure out, better ways to use my diction. I had multiple fact books. I would always get the Guinness World Book of Records. I had these cutouts in encyclopedias which would show huge objects like a cruise ship, and you would see the cutout from the mechanical rooms. And I just loved taking in information, and I did that on my own accord. It wasn't really school that pushed me to do that. And so what I'm seeing more and more, and I'm hearing from teachers, friends who are teachers, is that there's no attention spans in the schools. The parents are leaving their children within the school as kind of a babysitting mechanism. They don't even care what the grades are. The parents are working, and they're getting squeezed themselves by the economy, so they don't even have time to watch their kids. So the schools are basically becoming, these places to drop your kids off. And I think that's ridiculous, especially for inner city areas that have tremendous funding. They're seeing graduation rates go up, but these kids are dumber than ever. And there's 2 ways to look at this. The first way is if you apply yourself, it's so easy to get ahead, because the average intelligence in the United States keeps going down. Okay, if you just apply yourself, consistency will win over intelligence any day. And now the average intelligence is just going down. So just be more consistent, have a goal, stick to it, and you will be getting ahead of pretty much everyone. So just putting that out there. The other thing is, with AI, you can accelerate your ability to get ahead of other people, because right now I'm seeing it. I'm trying to convince people, tell people that there is a significant shift coming in society based on AI, but people are still not even applying it in their daily lives. So if you start to apply it, now you have an exponential factor in your favor. Unfortunately, the negative impact of AI will be that many of these kids who will go on to become adults cannot think critically, and they will be manipulated. So I think AI will have an impact on the younger generation being very, naive. So you will see more psychological operations from China, Russia, Israel, Saudi Arabia, Iran, possibly even North Korea. I think North Korea will be much more of a fraudulent actor in terms of trying to take money from people, convince them, for example, that something should be convincing enough to send money for. When you think about older people, apart from younger people, there are already AI scams targeting older wealthy families by calling in and saying that their daughter was kidnapped and using a deep fake of the daughter's voice to convince the grandparent to send money. And it's only going to accelerate this amount of fraud. So I just think that we need to spread the word that people need to think more clearly, have better critical thinking abilities. We need to change the public education system. We really need to take a long look at it, because when you go back in time, the public education system was put in place to essentially create economic cattle, which is the American workforce, to be in a rigid economic system, a belief system, right? Where you graduate high school, you go to college, right? Now more than ever, college is more expensive than pretty much anyone can afford, right? So now the vision is you take on an extraordinary amount of debt, but this is what you're told to do. You get married, you get a house, right? And now more than ever, first of all, relationships and people interacting today, it's worse off than ever. And then trying to afford a house, worse off than ever. So this whole belief system, this economic system that people were kind of sold into as a dream, the American dream, it's crumbling before our eyes. And not only that, just because you have a degree, high school, specifically here in this case, it doesn't mean that you actually have the value of what it meant to have a high school degree 20 years ago. And it's not looking good. I'm actually an optimist, but there's a term called techno-feudalism, where if you think about feudalism where there's lords and peasants, it's really a growing concern that the disparity between what you would consider the peasants and the lords is just accelerating. COVID made this extreme. And what we're essentially seeing is the people who can afford the latest technology and also have access to the cloud resources, which are the servers and the data centers, they are the lords. And they have accumulated the capital. It's not going to be taken from them. So when we think about capital today and what it means to be a technological lord, that means who has the most advanced NVIDIA GPUs and who has the most of them. So we're already talking about the big technology companies, specifically like Microsoft, right? Meta. And then if you own shares in those companies, you can be partially, along for the ride. But more than ever, the gap between what you would consider the 1%, the 5%, and then the 95% or the 99% is just going to increase. And it's just going to rapidly, exponentially keep going. And as much as I said I'm an optimist, it's really not looking good unless society as a whole really takes a pause and says, what is going on with capitalism today? Because this techno-feudalism is not the dream of capitalism. This is the dystopian future that we are headed into. And this is why I keep warning people, you need to learn how to apply AI in your daily life. You need to start earning income using AI, because the United States will be 15 years behind on universal basic income. We are going to see massive job displacement in the next 5 years. And what do you think these people with high school degrees who don't know anything about math or critical reading or critical thinking are going to do? They're going to need an income because they still have dignity. They're humans. You're going to see a lot of people who are stuck in this rigid economic, belief system. They just won't be able to get out of this box. They think that you have to work for money. And that's not. See, money, if you think about it, humans have value regardless of money. And if you only associate humans with money, then you've reduced humans to a number. And you're actually not thinking clearly. You've been locked into this box. AI will have such an impact on society that the people who are stuck thinking that way will be the people who basically prevent us from moving to universal basic income faster. And this is going to be a massive roadblock. But like I said, there will be a lot of fraud, and the scams, especially on the wealthy elderly who may not believe in AI, that will push Congress to put some regulation in place. And that regulation to kind of control AI will have an equal opposite effect of introducing universal basic income. And so this is all accelerating before our eyes. We're in a very, very interesting time in history. I think this is the most amazing time in history to have ever occurred. And it's a unique opportunity to take advantage of knowing, what's going to happen, what companies to invest into, and just understanding that it's very easy to get ahead right now, but the divide between the haves and the have-nots is only going to increase. And I'm giving out this wisdom so people can understand what's happening, and I'm not trying to be emotional about this. This is just logical, fact-based reasoning. Okay? As a tidbit, if you want to know, I had a 22 out of 2,400 on the SAT. That's the 98th percentile. You can take that for what it is. It was a 750 critical reading, 740 writing, and 710 math. Okay? That was in June 2009, so I'm kind of old now. So back to these numbers, right? Maybe you're saying that more people are taking the test now than ever, so the average will go down because people who never took the test before are taking the test. However, what people actually saw in the data set is that the share of students taking the SAT actually fell from 78% to 68%. That's a 10% drop in the number of people taking it, yet the scores are still going down. So it's just not looking good out there in terms of what we think our high school graduates really are. All right, now let's go into maybe a not so good picture, which is the portfolio right now, which is down $732. We are completely into FFIE, okay? And I still believe that this stock has a good chance within 2 months of at least tripling. So I'm actually going to keep the money in there. What will most likely happen is by next month, I'll put some more money into other stocks so that we diversify the portfolio. But let's take a look at what has happened with FFIE. So the reason I put the money into FFIE in the first place is because I believe it to be a short squeeze, which is hedge funds, what we consider smart money, have bet that the stock will be delisted or the price will go extremely low. They are artificially driving the price down by using synthetic shares that they're borrowing. So there's an interest rate when they borrow shares, and they've basically made future predictions that the price will go down. If we're able to maintain the price of the stock and not have it basically drastically fall, each day that goes by, the borrowing costs go up for those future contracts that the hedge funds took out, betting that the price will go down. And this is happening in real time. There are some excellent posts on Reddit. You have to be very careful about what you read. And I want to actually read one of those really excellent posts with you and go through what it means, okay? So there's a user named Maximum Purpose 1568. Some of his content is actually really good. And let's go into this post. So this is Greeting Guys, post number 2 for the day. You can look this up on the FFIE subreddit, okay? First thing he wants to discuss is puts versus calls. So those are the categories of options, okay? What the hedge funds are doing are they have puts on FFIE, which is a future bet that the stock will go down. And what's essentially happening is the retail traders, which is us, are trying to hold the stock above the price that the hedge funds have set in the future so that they don't make a ton of money on that bet that the price will go lower. So if the stock continues to rise in price, if it goes above $1, continues to raise above maybe $2, $3, those hedge funds will continue to lose a lot of money. And every day that the price goes up of the stock, their borrowing cost, the hedge fund's borrowing cost, in terms of borrowing the synthetic shares to try and place future bets, goes up. So that's kind of the tug of war between the retail traders trying to keep the price up and the hedge funds who are trying to push the price down. Now, if the price does go up, there is a chance of essentially an exponential spike. And that's why we are actually going to stay in the stock. Again, I recommend you do read through this post. Give it a few read-throughs and try to understand what it's saying. most important thing at the top is to understand calls versus puts. So puts is a future bet that the stock price will go down. A call is a future bet that the stock price will go up. So if you're a retail trader and you want to hedge your bets, you can buy shares in the company and hold them while also trading an option of a put in the future if you want to bet against the stock. So if you think the stock will go down, you can make a bet, let's say June 21st, that the price of the stock will be 25 cents instead of around 60 cents right now, while also holding a bunch of the stock so that if it does go up, you may make money as the price goes up. So it's a way to hedge your bets, and if you want to do that, it's not a bad way to approach this. All right, now this chart is really, really interesting. This blue line you see here is the put to call ratio. So the higher it is, means the more puts are out there. The hedge funds are putting even more puts out there, which means they're betting even more that the price will go down. Okay, so as this increases, and if the price remains or goes up, but the hedge funds keep putting puts in the future, they're going to have very expensive borrowing costs because the price has remained higher than their future bet, which is the put. And so if you have enough retail investors, what we call the dumb money or the apes, right? Apes together strong. If we hold the stock and buy even more and drive the price up, these hedge funds will be bleeding money. And there will be a point where there will just be an exponential rise in the price of the stock. Okay, now there's been discussion that FFIE has to remain above $1 for 10 days consecutively. And that is part of the NASDAQ's stock posting requirements. To remain on the NASDAQ, you have to remain above $1 for a certain amount of time consecutively. Now, just last week, unfortunately, I think on day 7 or 8, it went below $1. And there was a clear attack from the hedge funds in terms of they borrow shares, bet on the price going down, and put in orders at a limit lower than what the stock price is to drive the price down. And as it approaches it, they yank it out. And that's called an attack, which is a manipulation of the stock by hedge funds, because they're basically putting in a ton of orders, massive volume at a lower price. And right before it hits it, they yank it out. So it's manipulating the market to make it look like the stock is going down. So I am still long on FFIE, long meaning maybe 2 months. And I really want to see how it plays out. So I'm not going to move my money. Again, not financial advice. You guys, as you know, the stock market is like a casino. Take that for what it is. All right. Now, with that being said, guys, I'm going to do a best of, and I hope you enjoy. So this is going to be a ton of content from the previous videos of Wealth Wednesday. I hope you enjoy. And one thing I'll leave you with, a company that I am watching closely but I haven't invested in, is C3IS. Their ticker is CISS. Take a look at their financials and the volume. The volume is going crazy for such a cheap stock. They have some incredible financials. They may be a shell company in Greece that deals with shipping, but I still think they have incredible fundamentals. And it's another company that may experience a short squeeze. So I'm taking a quick look at that. All right. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of the content. Let's go. Try and get some good action by these tunnels. Not even tunnels. What would you call this? They saw the car the first time around. I love driving the car in a way that right when you pass by someone, it sounds so good. I just think that's like a bonus, you know? See what I have to deal with on a daily basis, right? But you get to become a better driver, I think, if you can figure this shit out. 60% throttle. That was 40%. And you hear the intake at 40% and 60%, more at 40%, but it still sounds clean.
That's hilarious. Okay, there he goes. How are you, bro?
Who built that car?
It's stock.
That ain't stock.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing stock about it. That's too loud.
It's just mid-pipe and down pipes.
Really?
Yeah, and a valve controller. Huh?
Who does your work?
High-tech suspension in Norcross.
So I run the Eurofed in Buckhead.
Word.
So my name's Chris. If you ever need anything, come holler at me, bro.
Nice meeting you, Chris,
For
bro.
sure. For sure.
You going this way back to Buckhead, or what are you doing?
I'm going this way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, bro.
See?
I swear every day in Atlanta is like GTA. This car, I think, it creates NPC interactions. It's the best way to describe it. And remember, all of this is AI generated, so the AI is creating the NPC interactions too, I guess. sounded good. There's no one on the road. Apparently there was a hail warning and a tornado warning. Ooh, lost a little bit of traction there. See if we can have some fun on this turn. I wonder if you guys can see the heads-up display. It looks pretty sick at night. Wow. Even in the rain, the car didn't want to go. Let's see about this tunnel. Woo-hoo-hoo! Oh, it wanted to go there. Hydroplaning there. These tires are still pretty new. I have one track day on them. They're Hankook Evos. And honestly, they've been pretty good tires. They're not as good as a Michelin Pilot Sport 4S, but for half the price, they're almost as good. It's 4.5 out of 5 instead of 5 out of 5 from me. So I would recommend these Hankook Evos if you're looking for tires. If you ever come down this access road and you keep going straight instead of getting on the highway and it's raining, stay in the left lane up here because there are large puddles of water, but larger ones on the right side, especially here it floods, so let's watch out for that. Let's see when we go through how much water there's going to be. It's usually right here. There's a ton of standing water. And there it is, that big puddle. Someone lost their bumper. I will say that I could use more experience driving in the rain. I'd actually love to go on the track in the rain to get more experience. It's just something that I think everyone could do with more experience. I mean, how many times are you really driving fast in the rain? And a skid pad doesn't count as driving in the rain. Yeah, the car just tons of grip. Even in the rain. We're in rear wheel drive mode right now. That's amazing. Let's see if we can break loose. Now I'm not giving it too much throttle, so. I'll show you guys all-wheel drive mode in the rain. Let's launch it. Yeah, the car really wants to go. But it grips, can you believe that? So I think Meta has a long kind of upward trend that they could go with AI. I also think they're partnering with Ray-Ban on these Meta glasses, which are super cool, especially if you're a content creator. You can get first-person footage, like if you're driving, for example. Guys, tell me if I should get it. I'm thinking maybe. These are first-generation glasses, so they record, they have a camera, you can talk to it. They have speakers, so you can hear audio. But the screen itself is not intelligent, meaning that the screen doesn't display any information. But think about this, long term, Facebook has large language models that could run on hardware if they are quantized, and they can run on local hardware. And imagine glasses running LLMs that become your virtual assistant, but also just imagine what happens when the screen becomes intelligent. For a driver, let's say I go to Road Atlanta here in Atlanta. Michelin Road Atlanta is a very famous track. And I tell my glasses, look, I'm in a 2024 BMW M4 competition, or maybe I don't even need to tell my glasses. I walk up to my car, the glasses recognize what car I'm in. The glasses know statistics about me, like my height, my weight. It knows the way that the car has been set up, the suspension, the tires. And when we take the first few laps, which are kind of called like a shakedown, you're learning the track if you're new to it, the glasses can record all of that and then provide you with a driving line overlaid through an LLM on device after capturing what it had seen. So the future is just incredible when you think about devices and AI and how it's going to enrich our lives. And I think Facebook is uniquely positioned, Meta, to capitalize on that. So I'm really, really interested in starting to build long-term stock holdings in Meta as well. Sounds really nice. So I'm still on throttle here, but you can't really hear much from the exhaust. But as soon as I let off, I know there's gonna be a lot of burble. There you go. Downshift. Sounds really good. Ready? Sounds really, really good. Got a lot of traffic building up ahead, so this is where you actually need to make some executive decisions. Looks like the whole highway's backed up. Yo, what's good?
Yeah. Well,
What's going on, man?
hey, you left already?
Yeah, I left. I had to drop Parker back to Buford. I'm going home now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just pulled up. I see the cars on there.
Oh, okay.
Where they going?
They're going to Vegas for the Corsa America rally.
I want to get some pictures, but it's too late. So.
Shit, all right, but maybe this weekend.
Yeah.
All right, bro. Be safe.
All right, bro.
Billowing smoke. Is just unbelievable, guys. Like, it feels like a go-kart. You know the crazy thing about the M3 and the M4, and maybe other Beamers that have the shift speed on the lever, is right before a shift you can lower the shift speed. So think about that. Like, you could be in the fastest shift speed setting, and maybe you're in traffic and you're going from first to second. You could lower it right before you go to second and smooth it out, and then go right back up to the fastest shift setting. It just gives you, like, in the moment, more dynamic control. It's kind of pretty cool, to be honest. and it's at your fingertip. Personally, I leave it in the fastest shift speed setting all the time, but I know between first and second gear can be a really brutal shift. So it makes sense to lower the shift speed on that one. Also guys, there is a CS transmission tune, suspension tune, and I think differential tune. And you can get it all for under like 300 bucks. It's a flash. You don't need to unlock your ECU or anything. So I'm definitely interested. If anyone's done that, I'd love to know. I'm gonna think about doing that myself on this car. I do have a surprise coming, guys, too. So remember, should be hopefully in the next month or two. And I promise I'm gonna, for me, myself, you know, for sure, at least build something that is gonna be just so classy. It's gonna be fast, it's gonna be beautiful. I can't wait for you guys to see it. The intakes almost sound like a blow-off valve. It's crazy. You can hear the boost, you know, basically let off. It's such a fun sound. in a time where you can become a millionaire by buying basically coins that don't have any value, as well as stocks that don't have any value. And I mean, these are the times we're living in, guys. We've been basically shown the truth that many of our institutions are not what we thought they were, and most of the old norms are basically going out the window. So when you think about people, and you know, when people think, oh, you know, I'm depressed right now, or you know, people are labeling me like crazy, you know, some of the smartest people I've ever known, society would label them crazy, but the fact is society is the one that's crazy. The people following all these laws set by institutions that really don't have any merit, that's crazy. People blindly following what they're prescribed without questioning anything, that's crazy. So if you're depressed, or you feel like people are calling you crazy, but you might see the bigger picture, don't worry. But apply yourself, don't just get lost in your thoughts. That's the big difference. You'll find that if you want to become more lucky in life, instead of spiraling and just thinking about how bad the world is, find the patterns that you can make success out of without harming anyone. You know, you really shouldn't have any negative or ill intent, and you can still make a lot of money. And allow yourself to make the money, to give yourself the time to then think about your problems or the world's problems, or try to solve them without getting depressed. Because in this world, you can't make a difference until you start acquiring capital, plain and simple. And people won't even believe in you until they see you accumulate something. And that, unfortunately, you know, one of the biggest pitfalls of our Western society, which, if you look at white Anglo-Saxon Protestant culture, also known as WASPs, they built the United States on this belief that we are exceptional, right? Exceptional people, and that the material success that you build on this planet is an indicator that you are somehow suitable for heaven. And that's very, very backwards. It's a completely materialistic approach that is should really be stuck in a period of time which was over 200 years ago. Human beings have evolved past that point, but these belief systems have kept us back for a long time. And guess what? The families that have had the most wealth, those WASP families with old money that have carried over from Europe into America, they've controlled many of our institutions, and they themselves are the most corrupt people to the bone, you know? And you look around, why do you think there are laws that are 100, 200 years old? It's not because they're for the good of society. It's there for the good of these families that control most of the institutions. And as you start to realize these things, I think, you know, early on, I knew about this because I would always be so curious. I would do my research and I would get depressed, right? Because I didn't have the opportunity to make money for myself. But now, in 2024, with the internet as diverse as it is, with AI available to people to use for free, you should absolutely be making a way for yourself out of this system controlled by old institutional beliefs that have been set up by corrupt individuals to control power for centuries. Like, just think about that, right? You are now more free than ever. And so, you know, that's why education now, and critical thinking, access to the internet, and financial literacy is so important. Because, guys, society is not going to get any better. Western society is basically falling at the sword of tolerance, right? Extreme tolerance for everything. You'll see Eastern societies like China and Russia be much more authoritarian. Like, they run almost like dictatorships, and that puts essentially a lid on culture, society progressing in many ways, and also creativity. But it also prevents the double-edged sword of extreme tolerance. So there is a middle ground, but what we're basically seeing is the West falling upon itself because it's being too tolerant of societies and cultures that are basically not in harmony with those ideals of, you know, Western civilization, where it's really materialistic society based on meritocracy. but you know, when I say a materialistic society based on meritocracy, I mean the veil of a materialistic society, because we all know that that society is basically a prescribed one, one that was put in place to keep people, you know, in check. But yeah, guys, humans are more free than ever now, even though it may seem like everything might be negative. We're more free now than ever to actually make money from the internet and utilize AI to make money for ourselves. And the amount of just knowledge that we have accessible through our phones is just amazing. So when you guys think about daily life, and I know not everyone out there can say this, but I'm extremely thankful just for being able to get up and get under some device that magically, you know, drips hot water on me. And that's just having a shower every day. You know, if you can be thankful for just having a shower every day, just think, like 100 years ago, that would have been a luxury for kings. And now we have essentially the whole world in our palms, which is our phones. So all the opportunity is out there, and if you practice that gratitude and you start to learn these patterns, and you don't let the world get you down, you actually apply yourself to make use of what's available to us, you can break free. And that's what I'm really trying to spread with this channel. All right, guys, when the traffic clears up, I'll put this back on. Good. Guys, I get bored in traffic, so sometimes I show out, just get enough space, you know what I mean? sometimes when I'm driving, I feel like I'm literally teaching people how to drive, like waking them up, you know what I mean? Like, look, you too can get out of the left lane after passing. And drive smoothly, guys, seriously. When you're interacting with the AI, this is all AI, remember? Just be smooth, like with everything in life. Rhythm. Breathe. It's really important to breathe. As we can see, there's a Honda in the left lane causing a lot of traffic. A little bit windier today, guys. I'm actually cold. The AC in this car is so good. I could keep it at 68 and very low all year round, no problems, maybe 70. This car has no problems cooling down the car or heating the car. And the stock cooling system is so good, guys. Unless you're endurance racing, like, you do not need to upgrade your cooling system, especially at the stock power level. My windshield's pretty dirty. I think a lot of bugs have come out. In the south, we do get a lot of bugs, you know. The biggest bugs I've seen in the south is when I was passing through Louisiana on the way to Austin, Texas. I drove over to the guys at UpRev, who are famous in the Nissan community for tuning, and AMS was actually at UpRev's offices doing tuning on ECU tech or EQ tech when I had a Q60. So I actually drove all the way there for a Q60 meetup where people were getting retuned, going to the drag strip. It was a ton of fun. But man, Louisiana had the biggest bugs I have ever seen in my life. Sounds so good, guys. It sounds so good. It's unbelievable. This car will never get old, guys. sounds so good. Guys, with Vimmer code you can code in different sound system settings, like you can do the Mini Cooper one or Rolls Royce. So I coded in Rolls Royce, but it just sounded so different than what you expect from a BMW. It didn't match like the feel of the car, and the turn signal was actually really annoying, so I coded it back to BMW. BMW has two options. There's like a BMW 2001 and a regular BMW. I think the 2001 doesn't sound as good as the regular BMW one on the M cars. Guys, what's up? Back to Wealth and Wisdom Wednesdays. It's almost 5 o'clock, so I'm going to post the results of the portfolio. I think we were up like 30 bucks. Ethereum dipped and then it went back up. Apple is up. Palantir has remained kind of flat, and I'm thinking we put some more money into Meta. I didn't do that today. I actually bought more Ethereum, but the plan is to invest in Meta next. As the 2020s play out, guys, what we should do is focus on defense, robots, and AI. These LLMs have enabled robotics now to take a step forward into becoming like consumer products. So if you imagine everyone has a smartphone, and every household probably has one smartphone per adult, we probably might get one robot per 4 adults in like a period of like 5 years. So that's going to be amazing. But these robots will be like $20,000, and I think people will take loans to actually afford them. So you could imagine a $20,000 robot from Tesla that you take a 5-year loan to finance. But imagine everything it could do for you in those 5 years. And then maybe you upgrade it, right? Because just like an iPhone, it becomes a consumer cycle. And the robot could do all of your household chores. Think about how much free time it'd free up for you. It could repair things. It could, you know, house sit, take your dog on walks. Just everything that you may have to do as a chore, you know, or just regular maintenance. You now have a household robot that would be able to do that. Think about cooking, right? Think about putting together maybe a to-do list even, because the robot could be connected to, you know, of course, the internet, Wi-Fi, and you could just have an AI, which is like a digital personal assistant connecting with your robot and them communicating with each other, running on possibly different LLMs. But that whole concept is something that we will see in the next 5 to 10 years, and it's amazing. But these companies are obviously going to sell a lot of these robots, and they're going to make a lot of money. So keep an eye out on companies that are going to be producing consumer robots, because that's going to be a really, really good opportunity. Guys, I just seen this grease sign on the DHL van, and I was reading that Greece is actually experiencing depopulation. They're not having enough children, and the country's social services depend on, you know, more people paying into the social nets. And when you don't have enough people, the social nets erode. So this is a big problem in Europe, and I know there's a lot of immigration, but there's so much contention in Europe because the native Europeans are not having children, you know, as they're not. I mean, the fertility rate is going down, but also I think people are choosing not to have children. And there's going to be more and more migration from the Middle East and Africa into Europe. Oh, check it out. Is that a G80? G82, sick. That's so sick. I think that was Drive It Gray. That is a beautiful color, guys. I think Drive It Gray has the gold speckles in the paint. And if you do like a Fiona Red with carbon ceramic brakes, that's such a sick spec. Like sick spec. I love this Isle of Man green over Kyalami orange, but there are a lot of cool specs that people could do. You know, you don't see too many. I think out there choices sometimes that people kind of stick to the regular gray colors, maybe black interior. You know, definitely go wild. If you can customize a car, you know, do it up. Like, enjoy it. Open up the valves, but turn the burbles off. That was really nice entrance. Guys, when I was at the car wash, the one in Cumming has the, I think, Forsyth County Sheriff's Office. They all go there, and you know they're going to be hanging out at the on-ramp. So also the car's tires are wet, so just heads up, guys. Like, don't, if you go to that car wash, don't rip it after. Just keep it controlled, you know. Yeah, guys, once we get closer to Atlanta, I'll turn this back on. We can have some more fun. All right, let's go. Swim action, huh? Remember, guys, I don't go too fast on this stretch because the road is really uneven, so I actually go to the far right side. You'll see there's big divots here. This is on 400 South back towards Atlanta. When you're, you know, in the AI, or when you're trying to control the AI and you're in a situation, you have to think 2-3 steps ahead. You have to understand the terrain. If you're in a new environment, you really need to reconsider your reactions, the speed at which you can process information. You know, really have to be mindful of situations that you're getting yourself into within the AI, you know what I mean? Guys, it's kind of windy, that's why I put the windows up. I mean, you can still hear the car inside. I think it sounds really nice. Woo. It's been a while since I've heard a tunnel inside. It sounds really nice. There's so much traffic going back. Feels good just to be doing more than 60 miles an hour. To commit to. By the way, shout out after the party. I think I started listening to him in like 2016. Unbelievable lyricist, R&B artist, hip hop artist, singer, producer. Still don't know who he actually is, but he has some amazing tracks, guys. You should definitely check him out. I'm gonna add him to the playlist next week. Someone got pulled over there, guys. I think the officer's in the right lane, so take it easy right here. I don't think it was that car. If you guys ever come down to Atlanta, we have more cars on the side of the highway than I've like ever seen in another big city or medium city. Atlanta will become a big city. Like in 10 years time, the population of Atlanta, it's gonna be unbelievable. Oh, there they are. Let's see who they got. Oh, damn, I got 3 cars. Still listening to Gunna, guys. You can tell how windy it is now. Ooh! Sounded really good, guy. One, the AI drives really well. It's delicious. I mean, how else? Unreal, guys. Unreal. Carbon ceramics for the win too, for braking. Outrageous, guys. It's an all-wheel drive right now. I have the burbles off. This is probably the best the car sounds. I've changed my mind. Rear-wheel drive sounds great, but with burbles off, all-wheel drive just sounds so good. It's unbelievable. What is wrong with these people? Guys, welcome back to another episode of Unlockable Character. It is Wealth and Wisdom Wednesday. I dropped my car off to get, dropped my dog off to get groomed, and it's gonna take a while for him to get groomed, so we're gonna get the car washed. I just worked out. I'm gonna keep it in all-wheel drive mode, guys, and Burble's on, valves on. Let's have some fun. Shouldn't be too windy today, guys. It's actually pretty dry and kind of hot. Feels like summer already. I was just checking the footage there, guys, to make sure it's really good, you know what I mean? And it looks good. It looks really good. The iPad comes so in handy because you can preview the shot. And I know that like Insta360 has these cameras that actually you can flip around the visor and you can preview the shot. That's really cool. Normally I would use my iPhone, but when my iPhone's hooked up to my car through CarPlay, I can't do the preview because it's using the Bluetooth and wireless connection with the car on the iPhone. That's why having the iPad is really nice, so I can get a big preview of what the shot looks like. Looks like there's gonna be a lot of cops, guys, so I'm gonna take it easy up here, and then once we get clear, you know, 400, as you get closer to the car wash that I go to, there's a lot of Forsyth County, and I take it easy up there. There's no real reason to go crazy. You really have to find some nice back roads to truly get the most out of the car. All-wheel drive on the highway, the closing distance is amazing. It's just so fast. Like, rear-wheel drive is more playful, but all-wheel drive is just all the power, all the time, all the traction. And sometimes it's too much, to be honest.
Hey guys, first thing you notice is I shaved. That was a comment. Whoever posted that finally did it, so just check it out. But guys, in all seriousness, I wanted to talk about what I consider to be the matrix that we live in, and where you can get a sense of it, like how you can actually see what the matrix is. Okay, so in our current world, especially in America, you can consider the matrix as the state and everything wrapped up in the state. Okay, so if you've ever been to a federal courthouse, or if you've been to a courthouse in general, you look at the judges, you see the people working there, you look at the lawyers, you see the way they have to present themselves. Okay, first of all, the legal system. We don't have a justice system, we have a legal system. It's all legalese. You have to follow the language to even understand how it works. They don't find justice for people, they play out in the legal system all these scenarios. But if you look at the people, you look at the energy in these places like the federal courtrooms or even your local courtrooms, that is the energy of the matrix. Those people are so trapped in these institutional beliefs and laws that were set up by individuals to control us. And they are so stuck in their ways that they can't see past it. So regardless of the impact on human health or someone's sanity or their emotional health, regardless of how something may have a negative impact on someone's life, they will apply the law, and the energy in those places are what I would consider the matrix. That law that they apply might ruin someone's entire family. It could separate
mothers from their children. It could send fathers to jail for life for low-level drug offenses. And there's no empathy. There's no humanity. They just follow these laws that are put on books that have been there for hundreds of years. They have never questioned the reality of existence itself. And you just feel this energy that it's the Matrix. You're surrounded by people who are essentially allowing the Matrix to propagate and take people's abilities away from themselves, because you're basically reducing humans to numbers, okay? It goes from the court system to the prison system. The prison system, the Matrix, is basically personified as inmates in jail. And so I really want you to take a look around and see where you feel that type of energy, that Matrix energy. And just know that those people, some of them are just lost. They're never going to wake up. They're so stuck in that level of thinking, okay? And something that's coming, and I promise you guys, this is not some conspiracy, there is going to be an ontological shock for the majority of humans on this planet. Ontological shock means that your worldview will change. Now, AI is going to bring ontological shock, but also non-human intelligence is going to bring ontological shock. More and more government officials, people who have had top security clearances, who have had extensive careers, who are very well respected, are going to come out and confirm the existence of non-human intelligence. And you'll see how people react to this. The people who are so caught up in the Matrix, they will basically refuse to believe that that's true. These are the same people that will refuse to believe that AI will take their jobs. But trust me, AI is coming, and if you don't learn how to master it, if you don't learn how to use it, you're just going to be replaced. It's going to be AI and robotics. There are going to be massive escalating conflicts around the world. We can talk about Russia and Ukraine. We can talk about Taiwan and China. We can talk about Israel and Iran. And there's also going to be this layer of when will the confirmation of non-human intelligence be widespread and announced. And it could well be that escalating conflicts around the world turn into a world war where nuclear capabilities will need to be utilized. And once those nuclear capabilities need to be utilized, that is when the non-human intelligence will be essentially announced. But please, guys, in your daily life, like, look around and see how people are living. They don't even question their existence. They don't even question the norms that they live by. They're essentially trapped in these boxes, and no one is showing them a better way. No one is showing them out. And if you do find people who are receptive to thinking about these things, really do try to nurture them. And I think the way out of this financial, cultural, socioeconomic matrix is to utilize AI and to spread more information. Okay, guys? I hope you have a great Wednesday, and hope you enjoy the video. Let's go.